right, so we're at this brewery called Yeehaw Brewery in downtown Nashville. I got caught up on how I said brewery. So we thought we'd answer some of your questions in like a Q&A, and maybe I plan on possibly, there's basketball over here and someone's about to start playing basketball, so there's going to be like we're going to be answering the questions. What are our favorite spots? By the time you see this video, we just posted about Alabama, but we've been so much further than just Alabama. So what are our favorite spots? What's the best and worst parts of RV life? Do you shop for food often? A number one thing you wish you knew before we started RVing. And the biggest question is, how do we afford all of this? So we're about to answer those for you now. Also, I just want to say, so by the time you see this, the last video that came out, we just got to Alabama. But since then, because we're Brenden and Bonnie from the future, yes, we have been to North Alabama, Chattanooga, Mountain View, Georgia, back to Pikeville, Tennessee.
Harrison Bay. Oh, well, I guess that was Chattanooga.
Chattanooga, right? Harrison Bay. And now in Nashville is where we're currently at when you see this video. The first question is, what have been our favorite spots?
So, we, this is future us talking because these videos haven't come out yet, but I think my favorite spot, and I think he will agree, has been Mountain View Campground in Hiawassee, Georgia.
Yeah, Hiawassee, Georgia. Also, that was just a breath of fresh air after being in Alabama. I had like really bad RV parks for a while. The last video that just came out was the RV park nightmare in Troy. But yeah, Hiawassee, Georgia, a great place, a great campground, Mountain View Campground. They are the highest rated campground on Campendium.
Shout out to Peanut, PJ, and Louie.
Yeah, it's a small family-owned campground. It's beautiful. You wake up and you're in the mountains and you're only 6 minutes away from town. There's like a brewery, another brewery, and then there's a winery. And then an Ingles and just a bunch of stuff to do.
Oh, and Brenden at the winery, he was awesome too.
Yeah, we met a friend that worked at a winery, Brenden, and then we went to the brewery with him and did music bingo. Yeah. All right, how you doing? The next question is, what are the best and worst parts of RV travel? So, take it away, babe.
The best would be waking up in like a different place every week and like trying new things and being able to not just like the monotony of working 9 to 5 and then doing the same thing every week. It's kind of like you get to try new places, see new things.
Yeah, and the worst parts are, we talked about this already, the worst parts are just driving and also just the unknown. So driving on roads that turn into huge mountains or huge cliffs, or bridges that are super low, that's terrifying because you don't know where you're going. And then also when you get to an RV park, and if the Wi-Fi is bad, because people review Wi-Fi, but we need it a lot more than normal people.
Camper, yeah.
So some people might say they got good Wi-Fi if they're just able to stream Hulu or Netflix. We need Wi-Fi to give us, video calls for 8 hours a day. Yeah. So the unknowing is like the worst part, because sometimes we'll get to a campground and like have really bad Wi-Fi and we're like, fuck, we got to figure out.
Go somewhere else.
We got to figure out somewhere else to go.
And another thing that I just thought of actually right now, we don't have our weekends anymore. So when we were living at home, we obviously weren't moving around on the weekends, so we had the weekends to do stuff. Now, unless we stay at a place for longer than a week, we don't have our weekends because we spend our weekends traveling on the road. So. All
right, and then my best buddy Gage asked, shout out Gage Harvey. Do you shop for food often?
When we lived in our sticks and bricks, as the RV community calls it, we went grocery shopping once a week. And we still do that pretty much. I think we stick to that schedule, going once a week. Then we just go out to eat at like restaurants. We just like to try new restaurants every once in a while. Normally when we were back at a house, we would go to like a fast food place, normally Chick-fil-A once a week. Now we go maybe 2 or 3 times a week, just because we want to try new places while we're here.
We'll go places and we won't spend much money. We'll just get
we'll go out for drinks, or we'll go get like snacks, like appetizers, or
so we don't do like big meals or expensive anything.
5-star restaurants. We don't go to Nobu.
But yeah, we try to try all the good local places of the places we've been. Okay, so the last question, I guess the second to last question is the number one thing we wish we knew about RVing before we started. And I would have to definitely say, I wish we knew about Campendium, the review
Can't
website.
speak highly enough of Campendium.
We
It's
love
so
it.
great.
Saved our lives a trillion times. People review campgrounds and the stuff around it, of what to do, how good the campground is, and how good the Wi-Fi is, which is just fantastic for us. And I guess another thing I wish we knew, we got a pretty big RV. A lot of people are surprised how big it is, and it gives us a lot of space. But honestly, we don't need as much space as that. Like, we definitely like being separated while we work all day.
Yeah.
But our RV is probably a lot bigger than we need, and we've gotten into a lot of issues of like some campgrounds don't have big enough spaces for us. It's hard to get the RV into spaces.
Yeah, backing into spaces is like, and especially because I'm not good at telling him which way to turn the RV.
She's like, turn left, and I'm like,
I
which
think
way?
turn left.
She's
I
like,
don't-
this way. I'm trying to think of anything else. RVs smell real fucking bad.
Oh yeah.
We fixed that kind of, but we're running into an issue again with it. That sucks.
Lots of like maintenance and stuff that you always have to like upkeep.
Yeah. Every morning, Bonnie is asleep most of the time when I do it, but every morning I have to wake up and go out and dump our tanks, which I just like go out and pull a thing, and I wait with it to make sure nothing like, can you
Goes
imagine
wrong.
if I pull it and then like our hose leaks?
Yeah.
That'd be terrible.
The people at the campground wouldn't like us. Our
Yeah,
neighbors.
so that's like added things that like just maintenance, everything breaks. That's funny, that's a motto of the RV community, it's just like everything breaks. But I'm like,
Always.
I feel like we shouldn't be a part of a community that's the motto.
Yeah.
But yeah, things break all the time. We got to fix it. We got to figure out everything. So that's something we wish we knew. It's like, if we had a smaller RV, less things would break on it. So
Yep.
yeah. Anything else?
Not that I can think of.
All right, now it's the actual last question.
Let's talk money.
Yeah. So how do we afford to do this? So we don't afford it. We're in
Bye.
debt. We're in a bunch of debt. Bye. That's it. So because of the pandemic, we were working from home full time, and I think this is pretty common for most people right now. That we're like, we haven't been into an office and we haven't seen our coworkers for months. Why do we need to work at the same city as our job? So I spoke to my boss. I work at Big C. We're a marketing agency based out of St. Petersburg, Florida, where we're from. And they have been nothing but supportive of this journey. They said the only stipulation is as long as we have Wi-Fi. So that's why it's been such a big deal. But long story short, how we afford this, me and Bonnie still work full time from the road. We have a lot of Wi-Fi. We have actually 4 hotspots. We have Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, and T-Mobile.
We are covered.
To make sure and most of the time we're not covered. It's actually pretty hard to find Wi-Fi. So as long as we work, we still work a normal, 9 to 5 basically, and that's how we afford everything. Also, do you want to say it? It's
I don't know where you're going with this.
I'm
so.
drunk. I assume you understand what I'm thinking. Also, I think how do you afford this is more of how much are we saving. We lived in St. Petersburg, Florida, which is a pretty expensive city, and we had a house with a backyard, and it was just expensive.
In a good neighborhood.
So all in all, with all of our new expenses of paying for all these hotspots, our RV, our truck is our biggest expense. We're still saving money each month. Now, if we stay at nice RV parks, and what we've been finding is that you get what you pay for with RV parks.
Definitely.
So the more you pay, the better it is. Like our RV park is like 15 minutes away from downtown Nashville, and there's live music every night.
This is the first RV park that we've been to that we've seen this, but they have like a restaurant where they cook home cooked meals every day, and they give you a menu, and you can go eat with them, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, and they have an RV store inside,
Yes.
so if anything breaks, you have like parts.
Yeah, propane, everything.
But yeah, so you get what you pay for. If we stayed at this park for a month, we'd probably be over what we normally pay for just expenses. But for the most part, we're saving money every month, even while traveling and working. Yeah, right? I don't think I missed anything. That's how we afford it. We just are still working. We're still working full time, both of us.
We find time to do things like after work, especially since like we are in Nashville right now.
Oh yeah, we're in a different time zone.
Different time zone, but we still work our normal working hours. So we get off work at 4 p.m. instead of 5 p.m. That gives us a little bit longer to go do stuff.
Yeah, and then if we have a day off or a weekend, we cram as much as we can into that little time.
Definitely do a lot of planning to figure out what to do on what days, make sure everything's open. We have like an itinerary.
Yeah.